things now. 1 second. See everything and more. Good. Thank you, Alberto. Yes, we do have to do this a certain way, and that's basically display capture. So we've already got 7 people here. Welcome everybody. And like I said, we're gonna go ahead and do Barbarossa. Now, I kind of wanted to do Attack in the West because this is essentially the attack on France, and it's actually a bit of a challenge, to be honest. But I think I'm going for the Barbarossa. It's a really fun campaign. It's fast. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of action, so that's what we're jumping into right now. I also want to remind everybody that tomorrow we're going to be having a Decisive Campaigns Barbarossa stream as well, so I hope you guys will show up for that. But let's jump in here. I know you guys love the NATO counters, so we're going to stick with that. Let's go ahead and get into Barbarossa. Now, occasionally, I will be jumping in to take a look at the chat, so you guys will see the chat screen, of course, but I'm going to try to keep that at a minimum. So here we go, guys. The time has come for us to turn our attention to the east. As we advance, we must ensure that our forces remain in good supply. Keep your HQs near the front line and deploy second-line units to guard potential locations where partisan activity could hinder our supply lines. We'll probably use our garrison units to do that. Our ultimate objectives are Moscow, Leningrad, and Stalingrad. And I must say, this is 1941, excuse me. It's unlikely we'll get to Moscow, Leningrad, and Stalingrad before the end of the stream. If we do, then I have just made a strategic command miracle happen. So that will also be pretty cool. So capturing these locations may lead to the Allies offering us terms. If not, defeating the Soviet Union will leave us free to tackle the British. Let us cross our eastern frontier and advance. So it's that simple, guys. Alright, Admiral Rader argues that with France defeated, we should aim to defeat the British through switching our main emphasis to the Mediterranean. By advancing into Egypt and seizing the Suez Canal, we will strike an effective and painful blow at the British, which could be followed up by a conquest of the entire Middle East. Success in Egypt would move Spain closer to joining the war, and if our victory in the region is coupled with a vigorous U-boat campaign against British shipping, then we could bring the UK to our knees and win the war. So this is going to be a tough part of the game, but you guys will actually get to see a lot of the extra things you can essentially do here in the game. We are, of course, playing as the Axis, but one thing we could do is we could begin an invasion force to essentially go ahead and move into North Africa. Now, that requires a whole lot of different planning. I'm honestly probably just going to be focusing on the Soviets. That's going to be tough enough. But, of course, we're going to try to do the tactics of the Germans during Barbarossa, and we're going to try to encircle all of these Soviet army groups, which I think we can probably do. If we take a look here at Italy, we do have a few Italian units. We've got some German units here in Greece, and what essentially they want us to do is send more units over here to North Africa to tackle the British. So we're going to have several fronts to focus on, of course, but let's go ahead. In fact, we'll start in North Africa here. We usually start on the Eastern Front, so I think it's only fair. So I think first things first, let's go ahead and get our bombers. And I am first going to start bombing these desert anti-tank positions because we've got 2 tank divisions here, an Italian and a German one, and I want to get rid of that place. Got some British interceptors, not surprising in the slightest. Wow, actually they managed to fight that off. Now, another thing is here in Tobruk, there is a really frustrating Australian corps. And unfortunately, our Italian divisions are very under strength here. So we're going to have to find another way to take out that corps. And that's actually another reason why we may need to start bringing some units over here to the Gulf of Bumba and move in. I'm not sure if we could take these guys out in Tobruk. We're going to try. So we've got our Italian bombers. We're going to send them in to try to take out the British forces in Tobruk. That's absolutely a port we need to take, and that's 1 down. So we actually did do 1 damage, which, all things considered, is pretty good. We've also got the Africa Reconnaissance Corps, but I'm sending them into the desert. They're going straight into the desert to see if we can cut off the British behind their lines. Remember, the Americans are not here yet. They're not really invested in the war at all right now. So we can fight the British on our own terms. I will be attacking with the Africa Corps. Most of you should know about this magnificent corps. And let's see if we can maybe even bring in some fighters. Yeah, why not? Let's bring in our first squadra of fighters from Italy. So we're really trying to take Tobruk. It'll also make landings more effective in the future, should we choose to go that route. And as for my Italian army guys, what I'm going to do with them is try to reinforce them to their full reinforcement. Get them back to 10 strength. Do the same here with the 10th army. Reinforce them to 10th strength. There we go, max, perfect. And we've got some tanks here. I do want to attack, but attacking this unit, this anti-tank unit, it's going to damage us. But at the same time, it's going to take out a lot of the enemy too. It's a tough call. It really is. I think instead I'm going to move my Italian tanks over here where the reconnaissance units are and see if we can hit the British infantry. And it looks like the British do have some artillery. So yeah, we're definitely going to need some reinforcements in this area for sure. Not bad though. Oh boy. No, we're taking some nasty hits. I think we're going to go ahead and once again we'll attack the Brits here at Sidi Baro. Nah. You know what? Wow, I am an indecisive general. Let's go ahead and hit the tank destroyers. Of course, they're tank destroyers. They're made to kill tanks, but if we could completely eliminate them, which I think we could, look at that, 4 kills. I'll trade 3 for 4 any day of the week, and we can actually attack them again. And we just destroyed a tank destroyer army, which is amazing. Now, of course, we do want to reinforce this division as quickly as possible, but that's going to take a while, guys, so we must be patient. I'm going to jump in and see the chat. Hello, Dogs of War VU, PUM, how you doing? Of course, Kamistar, we got a lot of people here. Welcome, guys. Good to see you here. Really good to see you here. It's a pop rock band. Is that so? My goodness. Well, I hope that Hubert is here. Hello, Hubert. Hello, my friend. I'm really glad that we finally got this working, and I hope I do the game justice. Hubert, of course, is from Fury Software, the amazing guys that created this excellent game, and any strategy gamer should be more than happy to play some Strategic Command. This game is exceptional. We already showed you the different years you can start with. You can also be playing as the Allies. We just chose to play as the Axis because we wanted to play Barbarossa and try and basically take over everything. So one thing we do need to do is start organizing a possible invasion fleet over to Northern Africa. I might even take some Bulgarian troops for this invasion fleet. Again, they're not the greatest fighters in the world, and it's not because of Bulgarians. It's really just because they don't have a lot of actual, how can I put this, not the best arms, essentially. And let's go ahead and see. I don't really want to take any of our German troops away from France, especially since they're guarding a lot of these positions. But maybe from Belgium, we can bring this German corps, bring them to the coast eventually, and send them over. So now, let's focus on the invasion itself of the Soviet Union. So we're going to be moving, of course, some Romanian groups in here, and my goal is to cut off this army right here, and cut them off to such an extent that their fighting back effectiveness is going to be greatly reduced. The rail lines are going to be cut. They're not going to be able to do anything to us. So we're going to attack the units here at Grodno with the 5th Corps. We're going to do the same here. And, ciao. I've got my colleagues talking to me right now. We're actually at the Agrippa Castle, as I like to call it. It's not really a castle, but it is what it is. Hello, Bounce, or Bill Runcre, and Gamer. How you doing, guys? Hello, everybody. Those are my colleagues saying hello to everybody. How's it going, Beryl? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you again, man. So once again, we're going to continue here, and I do want to take Grodno, but I think we could actually probably take it with another infantry unit, and even if we can't take it this turn, there's always next turn. Right now I'm moving towards Riga. I'm sure the Soviets are going to have something here defending, but I'm still going to attack. So here we go. And yes, I'm sorry, you're absolutely right. I'm going to have to go ahead, guys. Sorry that you have to see all this. I am going to go ahead and have to turn off Skype for now. And once again, you are seeing my entire screen, so nobody write down any codes. They're important. Ciao, Agrippa. Ciao, Shar. How you doing, man? Yojik Fire, we are trying to play Barbarossa, the German invasion of the Soviet Union here. And I think the best way we're going to do that is basically just to cut off as many of the Soviet positions as possible. The way we're starting is we're trying to cut off all the rail lines so that the Soviets won't get any more supplies. But we have to keep up the ferocity of this attack. So we've got to really go in here and do a lot of damage. I'm going to go ahead and immediately attack the mechanized corps. Quite frankly, I would have preferred to use this tank division to get behind enemy lines, but our infantry is doing that work right now. Another thing we have to keep in mind, we've got to keep these HQs close to our men. If we don't, they'll run out of supplies, and we're going to be the ones begging to go back home. So let's go ahead here with another tank corps to Bialystok. We're actually attacking some fighter units, and we'll go ahead and hit Bialystok here, the 4th Rifle Corps of the USSR. They're definitely going to fight back, but I don't really think it's going to make much of a difference. Let's attack the 21st Rifle Corps, And we've got some Grossdeutschland mechanized German divisions, and we're going to use that to cut off this rail line right here. Hopefully there's not going to be any enemies here. But actually, this area, Brest-Litovsk, if you go back to history, Brest, it was actually called Fortress Brest, was one of the areas during Barbarossa. Unfortunately now it's not this particular area because we took it way too easily. But it was one area where the Soviets really managed to hold out for a very long time. They killed a ton of Germans trying to take this area, and it was one of the few instances in Operation Barbarossa where the Soviets actually put up an incredible fight. So once again, as you can see, we're taking a ton of Soviet territory. We're also cutting off pockets of the Soviet armed forces as quickly as we can, just to make it impossible for them to fight back. And I'm actually going to bomb this general here, Budenyi. Try to hit Budenyi's HQ. I love it. That's what I'm talking about, baby. We want some more of that, but it's going to take us just a little while. So let's go ahead, move forward with our infantry. Again, we want to keep these HQ units fairly close. Move this one into Sedice. And we'll go ahead and cross the Bug River and try to cut off the enemy again. As you can see, the Soviets are more or less completely unprepared for an attack. We're even going to move in some Slovenian corps. See if we can cut off the south here. And I also want to take these mechanized corps and get them behind the enemy. Let me touch upon the chat screen. Love these streams, says Julie. I appreciate it. This man talks very quickly. Oh, that's right. You corrected me last time on the yoga thing. I'm sorry, Yogic Fire. I might be saying it incorrectly. I always say Barbarossa. It just sounds better, but I guess it could be Barbarossa or Barbarossa. Do I have a plan? I always have a plan. I always have a plan. I wouldn't want to be a Red Army soldier facing this onslaught, says Bilunacle. Ah, okay, Barbarossa. Is that better, Duel? I like to say Barbarossa, though. I've been in Italy too long. I'm rolling my Z's. This is the problem. Blame the Italians. So here we go, guys. We're going to attack Przemysl. I'm sure I'm not saying that name correctly, but I don't really want to take this armored corps and attack because I want these guys getting behind the enemy lines. So I'm going to take this infantry corps, move them over here. Boom. And that's just a garrison unit, so don't really expect them to do much damage in return. And we can probably move in here and take this area quickly. Beautiful. Let's see what we can do with the armored corps. So these are the 16th Panzer Grenadier Division. And right now we are just slaughtering the Soviets. Alright, guys. We've also got some tank divisions here. I definitely want to send them behind enemy lines. At the same time, we don't want to leave open areas, so I will move this unit in here. And as you can see, even the 4th Mechanized is not going to stand up to the 6th Army Corps. Take another tank unit here and try to blast through. And I would love to destroy 2 Soviet mechanized divisions. So I'm going to go ahead and forego the plan of a lightning strike, and I'm going to just try to destroy these mechanized divisions. And of course, we could send this tank right there, once again, cutting off another section of the enemy army. And we're going to start hitting their bombers. In fact, I think we could destroy their medium bomber corps here completely. Looking pretty good so far, guys. I think the invasion is going as planned. We've also got some Hungarian units, so I'm going to move them here, just from the south. And we've got a lot of Romanian army divisions, as well as some German army divisions over here near Odessa. Definitely want to reach Odessa as quickly as possible. And actually, Odessa has some oil fields, which of course during the war were quite important. So we do want to try to get there quickly, but once again, we're moving through Bessarabia. We're trying to cut through this area and create a real blitzkrieg. That's going to be very important, is just to try and not just attack the units. We don't want to get into a World War I situation. We want to cut the units off completely. That's why we're not just going straight into combat. We're actually trying to get behind them. So as much as I would love to just go ahead and kill them right off the bat, I'm actually going to do this a bit slower than usual by cutting them off first before I attack. Let's also move up Dumitrescu. I believe I'm saying that name correctly. We've got some bombers here. I'd love to finish these guys off, but honestly, even our Romanian fighters could probably finish them off. I think I'd rather hit this unit, even though we don't have a lot of information about it. Let's go for it. Why not? I think that's going to be it. We'll go ahead and move the Romanians forward as well. This is actually a fighter unit, shame on me. I was like, why can that infantry unit move so damn far? That's a little strange. Okay, let's see. Alright, we've also got some units over here in the north. So we will start moving towards Kaunas and Vilno. I think with Vilno we can probably take it this turn, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we can. Beautiful. And the goal really here, guys, is to cut off all these rail lines. Just make it so that the Soviets have no supplies whatsoever. We can do that any number of ways, but we're going to be using a lot of our tank divisions to accomplish that task. We'll also be taking a look at another part of this game, which I find fascinating. But before we do, let's kill Budenyi. We just killed General Budenyi. I do believe we have captured or killed him. And that's going to be essentially production, because we do want to purchase some units for this invasion. We also want to purchase some units for our North African invasion, which we can't forget about. Let's take a look here. Need to take that town to cut off the pocket properly. Yes, very, very good. Turns cover a week at this time of the year, a bit longer in the autumn and winter. Thank you. Yogic Fire asks, when is the new Close Combat coming out? No comment. You'll just have to be patient and wait. How about that? And actually, if you look at Slytherin Group, who's chatting in the stream right now, they can answer all of your questions, you know, my colleagues. But there's certain things we just can't talk about. But I will tell you this, it's going to be awesome, and when it comes out, you'll know. I mean, I really can't say anything else. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could. So actually, we've got this Hungarian court in Budapest. The only reason I'm not going to move this unit is we were warned in the beginning of this scenario about partisan activity, so they could try to take even Bucharest here in Romania, Budapest in Hungary, so I'm going to keep these garrison units behind for the most part. I might move some of the Italian units out of Greece and Italy and send them to the north here, to the North African front, because we're probably going to need more than just what we have here to take on the Brits. And obviously, winning in North Africa is going to be very important. So I might leave Rome unguarded, but we're not going to do it this turn. What I am going to do this turn is try and purchase some units. And it's going to take a while because we need to actually save up some MPP. But for now, let's see. Let's make a corps, give them some infantry weapons, and we'll send these guys to North Africa. We're not going to be able to give them the mobility. I mean, we can only afford so much MPP, and we are running out. So let's call that a turn. Oh, that's right. We have to focus on the shipping. I want to make sure to get some of our submarines out to start affecting Allied shipping. This is just going to basically destroy all merchant vessels coming from the United States and from Canada. And we should probably be doing the same in the Mediterranean, although I'm not really sure what countries would be supplying the Allies in the Mediterranean. So maybe we can just go ahead and send those guys elsewhere. But I will bring some Italian battleships here to assist us against the British in North Africa. I think that's probably a good idea. And then, guys, we will end the turn. By the way, guys, I want to thank you again, all of you that have showed up to this stream. We've got a few people here. Really happy to have you here. Don't forget that tomorrow we're going to be playing decisive campaigns of Barbarossa. Sort of some RP elements to that game, I like to think, that are quite fascinating, and I think you guys will enjoy it. So I'm going to go ahead and reinforce this unit here in Athens. Try to get max reinforcements, but we're probably going to try to wait for the MPP to flow in before we start sending units over here. Now, we do have this German anti-tank division. We probably should have used that to attack the enemy tank division. Let's see. We'll hit their infantry. Actually, I was under the impression we would definitely get a kill there. Shame on me. And we're going to leave it to our Italian friends to take Tobruk. I hope they can do it. But maybe not. We'll have to see. Agrippa's Jon Snow. Oh my goodness. Why? What makes me Jon Snow? Is it the wall? Will there be a sale or discount on Strategic Command to celebrate its Steam release? That's a question my colleagues could probably answer better than I could. I really don't know. Nonetheless, it's a game you should get. I don't care if release or no release, or I should say sale or no sale, you should get this game. It's great. So we're going to end the turn now. We also have some research we could focus on. I'm not really going to go into the research right now. I'm going to end the turn and see what the Soviets do here. I do wish I could take Kishinev this turn, but we're going to have to wait. So here we go, guys. Let's hope for the best. I hope they don't have any tricks up their sleeve. Okay, so the Soviet Union mobilizes its armed forces for a great patriotic war. They're getting ready, guys, and that's a little scary. Soviet Baltic Fleet mobilizes. We might have to send some troops into the Baltic. Don't forget, we also have our Finnish allies. Maybe we could start moving on Leningrad. Unfortunately, the Finns, at this point in the war, are not that prepared for combat. And the USA deploys destroyers to protect shipping in the North Atlantic. Now we know we're going to have to send more subs to take on this merchant shipping because we can't have them sending supplies to the British. Finland joins the Axis. Welcome, Finland. We're more than happy to have you guys. All right, Stalin orders industry to increase its military production. Not surprising at all. Yugoslav partisans launch an uprising. Now, this is why we have to be careful sending units over. We're now going to have to find those Yugoslav partisans. They're over here near Belgrade. We're going to have to find them and kill them quickly because they can cause a lot of problems, my friends. Okay, so they're transferring their industry to the Urals, the Ural mountain range, which is a good idea. It's very hard to get over there. Industry in the Ukraine is disrupted by the transfer to the Urals. That's good for us, at least for taking Crimea and this part of the Ukraine, but it's going to take a while. And look at that. That army is totally trapped. I love seeing that. It looks like the Brits are moving back, and there's actually a little dust storm going on in North Africa. I hope that actually helps us and doesn't hurt us, but we'll have to see. Soviets have some more mechanized corps here. I don't see any tank companies yet, but definitely some mechanized corps. All right, now they're definitely not going to give up Lvov without a fight, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there, but I think if we cut them off, you know, we're just going to sap their fighting strength little by little. Sorry about that, guys. I thought I turned off my Skype, but I guess I just went invisible. Absolutely, you can. Adriana is our wonderful graphics artist. Oh, the British are launching bombing run. Oh, I thought we were going to be friendly here. I mean, I thought I was just going to send some submarines to stop your shipping, and now you're bombing me? I mean, this is not fair, guys. I think we better call the Geneva Convention. I think there's an issue here. And we need to talk about it. This is a problem. All right, they're attacking our Italian tank divisions. The Italians fought back fiercely, but we definitely don't need our Italian tanks being damaged. However, they're doing a good job, and as long as they get behind the enemy, that's going to be great. You can see the partisans there. And actually, look at this. The Soviets have moved the mechanized corps to Johannesburg. And no, that's not Johannesburg, South Africa, but nonetheless, we need to keep our eyes on that. That's a counteroffensive we can't deal with, and we've got to do something about it. British HQ is moving back. And they're moving up some mechanized corps. And it looks like some Soviet garrison units are trying to move into Finland, so we may need to focus on our Finnish front for a bit. And we may need to bring back some Germans to deal with Tobruk, because I'm not sure, no offense to my Italian colleagues, that the Italians can take Tobruk by themselves. I mean, they might, but we'll have to see. U.S. supply ships set sail for Vladivostok in the Pacific. Wow. There's no way we can get all the way to that area in particular. We can focus on the Atlantic and the Mediterranean, but that's going to be tough. The Soviet Supreme Command orders full mobilization. Now, that's something we should be concerned about for sure. I think they're quite astounded by the rate of our success, and they're going to start doing their best. Okay, French partisans disrupt supply. Now, this isn't the end of the world. Yes, it's going to disrupt our supply, but they're not actually creating partisan units that we need to deal with, but they are going to hurt our rail supply, etc. UK starts Arctic supply convoys to the Soviet Union. We're going to have to send some submarines up to the north for sure to stop that. So as you can see, we've disrupted some UK convoys, and we've disrupted some Canadian convoys. So our subs are doing their job, but they could do a little bit better. Okay, guys. Ariete tanks destroyed. No, my Italian tanks. Madonna. Why? Alright, well, it happens. Okay, guys. British ships can sail to the Murmansk throughout the year, supplying the Soviet Union with military equipment and increasing the Red Army's ability to resist. Capturing Murmansk would force British ships to sail to Argalinsk instead. So, as Argalinsk isn't suitable for use in the winter, the Soviets would receive less supply. So, send an expedition with HQ support to capture Murmansk. Now, maybe our friends, our Russian friends, can tell me where in the world Murmansk is, because quite frankly, I like to think I'm good at geography. I know it's in the Soviet Union, but where is it? I guess it's going to have to be up here in the north somewhere. It's not in Leningrad. Somebody's going to have to tell me. One of you guys is going to win a prize. We can't tell you what that prize is yet. It's going to be my undying loyalty. Hey, Conan, how's it going? And hello, Flax. How are you doing, my friend? Flash, I should say. Very, very cool. Once again, guys, thank you so much for showing up. It's so cool to see so many people here for the stream. So we're going to try to take Odessa. I'm almost certain it's going to be defended, so I'm going to just stay outside. I was right. We're still going to have enemy contact, and these are Romanian troops that we're using here. So we want to get behind Odessa here with some German troops. Once again, some more enemy contact, but I'm going straight for Odessa. However, I think taking Nikolaev, now that Odessa's cut off, might be okay. I'm still worried that that port is going to give them some support, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. So let's take the rest of our men, and it looks like we've got some Soviets in Uman. Okay, let's go ahead and attack. And actually, our men did extraordinarily well here. As you can see at this point, our Romanians, because these guys are cut off from their rail lines, we can pretty much take Kishinev. I'm going to give this glory to the Romanians, and then move them forward as well. I'll use our Germans, of course, to really lower their numbers. And wow, look at that. They destroyed the entire army. So Romanians move into Kishinev, and that's all ours now. We keep on moving, as you can see. We want to move to Odessa as well. I'm going to try to attack, but I think this is a pretty dangerous attack. And we'll move with this unit as well. So we've surrounded Odessa completely. And of course, we want to keep our generals close. So we're going to move them up there. And our Romanian general, I think, and I wish Hubert was here. I think Hubert was here in the beginning of the stream. I'm not sure if you have to have your generals in a town to provide supply, or if you could just have them close to the front. So I'm not going to move that unit yet, but I'm definitely going to send a bombing run to Odessa with the KG-5 medium bombers. All right, looking pretty nice so far. I'd like to think so anyway. What else can we do here? We definitely have to focus on North Africa soon, but I think for now we want to keep moving these Hungarians forward. Maybe take some of these towns. And we've got these mechanized corps that we want to move behind the enemy lines to completely cut off the line at Lvov. Let's go ahead. Come on, boys. Win glory. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm actually going to move in my infantry to take that position. Let's go ahead and hit those mechanized corps. And right now, we are totally destroying the Soviet armed forces. Boom. Love those tanks. And we'll move these tanks this way. We can actually attack Daganopol this turn, and we certainly will. Alright, guys. Let's take a look at the chat once again here. Near the Finnish border. Thank you, Bob's your uncle. HQs might receive better supply by being in a town, but they can still provide supply if not. Thank you, Bill. With such a grayscale game, online co-op would have been great. Well, I promise you that the PBM system, which, you know, I use regularly with friends on Strategic Command, I mean, it's really fun, and it works. It works perfectly. You don't want a game this big, and this goes for a lot of the Slytherin games. You really don't want a game this large, Slytherin Matrix games, I should say, that doesn't have a PBM system. I mean, some of us have jobs, obviously. We can't sit there all day playing. I wish we could. So that becomes a problem. And the PBM is perfect because if somebody's on a different time zone or something like this, you can meet up with the person at another time. You play your turn. It's kind of like online chess is the best way I like to look at it. So really take your time to do certain things. Now, the one thing that's really bothering me, and that's the units at Johannesburg, they're actually slowing down our advance. They can't do a lot of damage, but just the fact that they're there is going to force me to take this tank unit and have to deal with these guys, and that's frustrating me a lot. So I'm going to have to take some bombers and a tank unit just to wipe these guys out. I might even bring in a garrison unit to try to destroy them, but for now, we'll try to destroy the Soviet units near Bialystok. Come on, boys. And then we'll get these tanks up where they should be. And if we have a few Soviet units, we also, by the way, just got a national morale gain there, then you know what, we'll deal with it then. So let's grab this infantry unit. No more Soviets there near Bialystok, and we got a 75 national morale bonus. Now, this is one cool thing about the game out of many. You can really change history in Strategic Command. Now, what do I mean by that? If we go up here to Diplomacy, we could actually start investing some points using our MPP towards other countries that otherwise would have never been part of the war. For instance, Turkey. I could start investing some diplomacy within Turkey, and they might join the Axis war effort. Now, I'm not going to do it during this Let's Play, but I would do it during other Let's Plays just to see if we could maybe cause some damage, I guess. It's very interesting. Now, I'm not going to tell you the countries I've managed to get on my side in this game. You're going to have to find out for yourself. And also, I'm busy taking Riga, so please give me some time. Let's go ahead and move forward. Alright, so somebody mentioned that this port would be near the coast of Finland. So we've got Tallinn, we've got Narva, Volkov is here. Where is Murmansk? Finland, right here, yes. Volkov right there. Maybe we need to go a little farther north. That wouldn't make sense, though. I see it. There's Murmansk. So we're going to have to get some Finnish corps. I'm even going to send some Finns this way. I mean, I think there's definitely going to be Soviets there, but if we could at least start a fight there and maybe, you know, cut off their supply, maybe we can make some differences in the actual campaign. I'm not sure if that's going to work, but you got to try a bunch of things, you know, especially if you're new to Strategic Command. It's always good to experiment. I'm going to take Kaunas, but I'd rather destroy this corps. And of course, we've got to get this German general closer, so we're moving into Kumbinen. And as for our Soviets in Vilno, once again, guys, this is a blitz, so the whole idea is to not necessarily engage, but basically cut off enemy lines, and I think we can kill this 3rd Light Tank Division, a pitiful Light Tank Division if there ever was one, and look at that, they are destroyed. We've also got a lot of bombers here. I'm going to send one of them to Rovno. How dare you? That's not nice. I mean, we're trying to bomb Rovno, and these guys get in our way and start ruining our plans. It's just not very friendly, I must say. Let's go ahead and move over here. We've cut off already some units here at Rovno, and I'm going to bring in these tank divisions. I believe we get 2 attacks, but I'm actually going to go for the light tank division here of the Soviets. We could take that unit out this turn, but I think I'll wait just a little bit. And we've got some more units moving up. We've also still got some bombers, of course, able to do their duty. And we could take out Rovno, or we could go for a place like Tarnopol, which I think is going to be more important. So as you can see, this Soviet unit is so badly out of supply that we can pretty much just roll over them. At the same time, we'll move our units up. We should have actually moved them to Stanislavov, but let's have the Slovakians, or is it Slovenians? No, it's Slovakians. Go ahead and move in here, take out that area, and we'll move some more units forward. I would have liked to take Stanislavov this turn, though. Let's also move our Hungarian generals a little closer. And we'll focus on Odessa very soon. Let's take a look here at the chat. Seem to be able to play all afternoon, Agrippa. I almost could. I mean, this game is very fun. Oh, no worries, Hubert. HQs can be anywhere along a front, but their distribution supply can be affected by their own supply. Essentially a careful balance between leaving them in good supply towns and how close you are to the front. That makes sense. Generally, I like to keep them in the towns. Just makes more sense. I mean, the generals, they're not fans of just sleeping out in open country, and I can understand that. Hey, Party Commissar, how you doing, man? Agreed, Party Commissar. Party Commissar is a big, big supporter of the channel in general, and I really appreciate you being here, man. Okay, guys. Let's see what else we want to do here. Proshkorov, you're on our list of places to destroy. But I really want to destroy that rail line. We might not be able to do it this turn, but it's certainly on our list of things to do. Keep moving our infantry forward. And of course, we'll keep these German generals close by. Okay, what about Kaunas? Why not? Let's go for it. I'm almost tempted to bring these fighters in to try to destroy the mechanized corps. And we've shattered them. I just realized, first of all, I shouldn't be doing this, but I hate having gaps here in the line. So I'm going to be moving a garrison unit out of Allenstein just to close those rail gaps. We have to worry about those partisans in Yugoslavia. So let's head over to Yugoslavia. They were near Belgrade. So we're going to take our German corps. We found the partisans. We've already done some damage, but we're going to have to wait a little bit. Now, I'm not going to be bringing any garrison units to deal with them. I honestly don't want to leave any towns unoccupied. Then again, I lie. I lie all the time. Let's go for it. Come on. Yeah, see, the garrison units really aren't capable of doing much. I'm not sure if Hubert would agree with me on this. I could be mistaken, but I believe the garrison units would be essentially the equivalent of Ostbrigades, which may be sort of foreign fighters fighting for the Germans. Not exactly hardened German soldiers for the most part. Let's also keep bombing Tobruk, or Italian bombers. We actually managed to do some damage to the RAF. I consider that by itself quite an accomplishment. And we are hitting Tobruk pretty hard. Alright, let's see. We've got our German bombers here. Our tactical bombers. Alright, we're going for Tobruk, guys. Now for this German unit, I definitely want to reinforce them to the max. Thankfully we can, so they're not going to be attacking this turn, but believe me, it's worth it. We want to get them as strong as possible, and I'm going to hit this desert reconnaissance unit. At the same time, we should be setting up an attack against these areas. We're going to go ahead and keep moving our reconnaissance unit and try and see if we can cut off the Brits. We can see a few of their generals here, and obviously attacking them would be huge. I'm actually going to go ahead and open fire on the New Zealand Corps. And let's bring our Italian battleships over here and see if they can do some damage to Tobruk. At least maybe doing some infrastructure damage. And we'll send in, well, I guess we'll have to wait a turn to send in our Italian friends here. But it's a start. Now, I really wanted to take this British, shame on me, I'm a traitor, this German unit from Athens and start sending them to North Africa. But we need somebody to watch Athens, so I'm actually going to take the Cumaria Corps to stay here at Athens, this Italian Corps. And I'm also going to be bringing down the 11th Army from Italy, and I'll be sending them to North Africa as well. I think we need more reinforcements there in North Africa if we plan to take it. Let's take a look here at the chat. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, maybe at some point, as my colleague said there. I mean, it's, you know, it's something to consider for sure. But, I mean, a lot of us, especially the grognards here, and I don't consider myself a grognard. In fact, a lot of you guys have given me more strategic advice than I could ever even imagine, you know, just basically becoming part of the stream. So, for the grognards, the PBM system works really well. It does. You know, like I said, a lot of us have to work, and we can't always do as much as we wish we could, play an online match for hours on end. I mean, it would be fun, but not all of us can accomplish that feat. And, if somebody drops because of a time issue or something like that, I don't consider that really a fair fight. I know a lot of you guys don't either. Now, let's start moving forward with our Finnish corps. I know, it's dangerous, but I'm going to reinforce them, start getting the Finnish army ready to fight, because I know that the Soviets aren't going to wait. And also, a lot of the units here on the Soviet front line in Vyborg and Briozesk, these units are garrison units, so we should be able to break through their lines pretty easily. So I'm actually putting a lot into these Finnish reinforcements. Let's go ahead and say okay to that. What else? Well, I think we've pretty much done everything we can this turn. Of course, we do have these British ships, and we want to keep bringing in submarines to try and harass a lot of the British ships. We could also bring in some cruisers. Why not? Let's bring this submarine, get over here. We're just basically trying to stop any sort of shipping coming into the UK, but we also want to stop that UK shipping from going to Murmansk. So if I have some submarines that can head into the Arctic, I will send them there. I'm trying to look around. We have this sub. Let's see. I think we'd have to go this way. So we'll send the sub to the west. Hopefully he doesn't get caught near Copenhagen. Beautiful city, by the way. Good old Denmark. Let's also bring some destroyers as well. And if I can find any more submarines, I'll bring them too. But really the goal is going to be to take Murmansk from the enemy. If we can take Murmansk, we're going to really damage the Soviet war effort. Not that it's already not horrifically damaged. I'm even going to send in some fighters and some bombers to Odessa. We don't have any bombers to attack, but we've got some fighters. The Romanian Air Force. Let's go. Show us you mean business. Apparently they don't mean business. Well, we tried. We tried, and the Soviets hid in the buildings, and that's that. Nonetheless, we tried our best. So I will take these Bulgarian corps. I'm going to start moving north, get them on the front here with Russia. But if we just zoom out a bit, guys, so you guys can see like the full story, you can see here a lot of the Russian areas are cut off. Some of these Russian areas are about to be cut off, and we are moving closer and closer to total victory, of course. So we want to keep doing that. I want to make sure that our German brigades are close, or German generals, I should say. Still have another bombing attack. I'm not going to leave Budapest open, so unfortunately those guys are going to have to wait a bit. Although here in Albania and Tirana, we've got an Italian corps, and they would be perfect to take out some of these partisans. But I think I'm going to leave it to the Germans and hope that they can deal with that situation. Let's attack some Brits. Well, good defense there, lads. I must give it to you. You did all right. Okay, fair enough. We're going to open fire on Tobruk. And I think eventually we're going to have to send one of these German units back to Tobruk to take it. So I'm going to send the Africa Corps back. But, of course, we've got nobody to defend the Africa Corps. So I'm going to send the 10th Italian Army on the front lines here eventually. And we will end the turn here very soon, my friends. Let's take a look here. AMD's asking something. Sorry. Units need sprite that reflect the unit type. It's interesting, and you guys are right. I mean, I prefer NATO icons, and a lot of the Grognards here prefer NATO icons, but we could try some unit sprites. Why not, right? Let's go to options. Let's try the unit sprites. Ugh, I'm going to have to exit the game to do it. But I'll tell you what, guys. The next time we do Strategic Command, it seems we have an equal number of people that some people like the NATO counter, some people like the unit sprites. The next time we play Strategic Command, and believe me, there will be a next time. In fact, we have a campaign going on the Matrix Games channel. I hope my colleagues are still watching so they can give you a link. In the next video I upload for that, I will use unit sprites instead of NATO counters. So that you guys can see that. Personally, I prefer the NATO counters. What can I say? But the unit sprites are beautifully done and quite interesting. I will say that. So let's see. I think we're pretty much finished here. We do want to head to the Atlantic with our ships, but oh my goodness, it's a British cruiser. That's what you get. You found a German sub and you just get a torpedo right in the rear. You deserve it. All right, let's bring some cruisers over. If they want a naval fight, we'll give them a naval fight, guys. I don't mind. We'll do that all day. Send some battleships over. Although I do want to send some battleships also to Northern Africa, of course. So that's working out okay. I think so anyway. Make sure that I've moved everybody. We should maybe even move our Air Force a little bit closer to the HQs here. And we shall end the turn now and hope for the best. Wait a minute. Bialystok? No, we'll leave him there. Make sure I've moved everyone. And yeah, we've taken a lot of Soviet territory. It's not looking good for the Soviets. End the turn. Alright, Allied raiders disrupt Finland-German convoys. Damn you, Allies! Alright, so as you can see, a lot of the Soviets are basically just reinforcing at this point, which is the right thing to do. There's not much else they can do. They could retreat back to Moscow or Stalingrad, but it's a bit too early for that. That's going to happen in about 1942, so we're a ways off from that. Nonetheless, I can see what they're attempting to do here. They're trying to reinforce those lines. It's not going to matter because we've got so much armor and mechanized units. We're just going to cut them off at every chance and every opportunity we get. So I don't think it's going to make a big deal, or a big difference, I should say, but we'll see what happens. What you get for trying to bomb us? Okay, so some of the British destroyers have found our subs. I think they're annoyed that we're trying to mess with British shipping, so I'm glad I brought the cruiser over because he's going to be able to deal with that destroyer. But yeah, the Brits are not happy about these submarines. I mean, we are attacking merchant ships. It's not exactly, you know, par for the course in terms of the Geneva Convention, but what can you do? So here we go, and some British submarines attacking our Italian battleships. This is unacceptable. Come on, guys. We thought this was just going to be an easy walkover of Northern Africa, and now you're causing us problems. As long as there's no more partisans, I'll be happy. Put it that way. Also mention, guys, that on the Matrix channel, where we have the Let's Play going on, we're playing as the Allies in close to 1944, trying to destroy or take Berlin before Berlin was actually taken, and I think we're getting pretty close. We've already taken Paris. We've done pretty well overall, so you should definitely watch that if you get a chance. The British with their counteroffensives. I see what's going on here. Not a fan of the counteroffensive, I must say. Unless I'm the one doing it. Oh, come on. Alright, well, it's Greek partisans. They're just disrupting our supply. They're not creating any core, so we don't really have to deal with them that much. But, yeah, disrupting supply doesn't help us. And the French partisans, up to their old dirty tricks, disrupting supply again. At Rennes. Why do the partisans seem to come out of Rennes? Is this just, like, partisan territory? I don't understand. Gotta be careful with those Normans, I tell you. Okay, so we did lose our Africa Corps anti-tank, but overall, I mean, we did okay. We also got an intelligence report of RAF fighters. Commander-in-Chief. Now, this is where you actually get to make decisions in the game, which is another thing I love about Strategic Command, You could play it however you want. To ensure an Axis victory in the decisive conflict in the East, it would be advisable for us to send an Italian expeditionary force to serve alongside our German allies. Given your approval, this force will consist of a headquarters and 2 corps. Forming it will cost 400 MPPS. I'm not sure if we have enough MP. Actually, no, we've got 861, so we'll be fine. A turn for 10 turns. That's a lot. And it will deploy near Warsaw for service on the Eastern Front. Well, honestly, if I was playing this, just a campaign of my own, I would say no. It's just too expensive, but at the same time, we're trying to take the East as quickly as we can, so I'm going to say yes this time. And of course, it's going to give us a few more units, Italian units to use in the East, but it's not easy. By the way, just to show you guys what happens when your units get cut off, remember this unit, the Africa Recon Corps, that could travel all across the desert? Now that they've been cut off, look at this. They can only travel 1 tile at a time, so unless we meet up with them and help them out, they're in some serious trouble. I think we want to start by seeing if we can take Tobruk. So let's go ahead and send in some bombers. We're going to throw everything we can here, especially since we are getting close to the end of this stream, my friends. Now, generally, I would have kept this tank corps here, but since we're trying to take Tobruk, I'm sending them in for the attack. I want Tobruk, give it to me! What about our Italians? Can they get the final glory in this battle? Unfortunately, the British are still standing strong there at Tobruk. At least they can't escape. They're certainly going to become prisoners of war in this particular situation. Let's take a look here at the chat. And wow, 31. Hello, everybody. Yes, using Italians to fill in gaps in the German lines has always worked out, says Party Commissar. Hi, Agrippa. An exit is not necessary. There is a 3D unit model toggle in that same screen you were in. Ah, thank you, Hubert. And this is why we have developers join our streams. Hubert is an awesome guy. I actually met him. Really cool guy. So we're going to go ahead here and let's see. Let's see if we can figure this out. 3D units. Aha. Thank you, Hubert. Okay. I hope this doesn't crash the game. I don't think it will, though. There we go, guys. So here we go, the 3D units. So as you can see, the 3D models, they look a bit different, but we'll go ahead to the Eastern Front and try to give you guys an idea of how they work. So, of course, I'm going to be moving the units here to cut off the Soviet railways. And you can see when they move, they actually get some armored cars, well, some trucks, really, to move them. We're still trying to take Odessa. I think we can take it this turn. And we'll keep attacking here. So we're just going to really want to take at least one city here. One major city before the end of this Let's Play. And we are going to move into Odessa, giving the Romanians the glory, once again, of taking that city. We're giving the Romanians a lot here. I mean, generally, this would be a German job, but I'm trying to be nice. Move the tanks. Boom. And let's take these tanks and get behind Tarnopol. So this is for you guys, and I'd love you guys to put in the chat down below which you prefer. Do you prefer the NATO counters, or do you prefer the models? Let me know, and obviously we'll keep that in mind for future Let's Plays, future streams, etc. It's really up to you guys. I mean, you are the viewers, of course, so we want to hear what you have to say. I'm going to try to destroy this unit. No more light tanks, and we can take Boranice. So there we go, more territory. Now, I generally avoid the Pripyat marshes. I'm sure many of you guys know that a lot of video games in this day and age are set in this area for a reason, and that's because this is a horrific area to be in. I mean, I've been in the Louisiana marshes back in the States, but the Pripyat marshes bring a whole new meaning to terrible marshland. You don't want to be there. It's just a nasty, nasty place. So we generally avoid that, and even when I'm doing my campaigns, I'll usually send like one infantry unit or a tank unit to take this area, but I don't like to be here. To be honest with you, if I was a Soviet partisan, I would hide here, because I don't think any Germans would be interested in ever going to the Pripyat marshes. I just don't think it would happen. Let's keep moving. Here we go. We're continuing to cut off Soviet territory. Ugh, I said I wouldn't go here, but I will. Alright, let's keep going. And Rovno might be the next place we take here. We've got a tank unit, but without any support, they're not going to survive for very long. We can also attack them with our own German tanks, and probably destroy them utterly this turn. And, of course, we'll move to Zhytomyr. Unfortunately, we've got some Russians here, and they've also got a general nearby. I would love to kill that general. It's not going to happen this Let's Play, but it's definitely something you could do. And as you can see, we're actually out of range with our bombers. This is why it's important to keep your bombers fairly close to the front lines. I don't want to keep them there because the Soviets could attack them. But, you know, keeping them close is going to allow them to do a lot more bombing runs to places that are quite far away. Taking Minsk would be excellent if we could. Here we go. Aha! Nice. Very good work there, boys. Let's get these tanks, and then I'm going to take a look here and see what your guys' answers are for the models. All right. So, Gamer saying NATO icons. Gamer saying NATO icon. Well, you said that already, Gamer. You can't say it twice. You're going to confuse me. Bone Bleeder saying he prefers NATO counters. And yes, actually my colleague here at Slytherin Group did mention there is a massive amount of mods. He just gave the link, not to mention that you can always, you know, check these mods out on your own, and we could also try these mods on a Let's Play. So, you know, that's something to consider. If you guys look at those mods, go to our channel, Matrix Games, or Matrix Press on YouTube, where we have a Let's Play going on, and, you know, tell us if you want to see a mod. We always like comments. They help big time. And so keep those comments going. Now, I generally end these streams at about this time, but I'm going to do just one more favor for you guys, those of you that don't have the game, and I'm going to quit to the main menu here, just to show you guys the different campaigns you could play in Strategic Command. So, if obviously you could play against a friend, PBM Online. Now, you could start in 1939 Storm over Europe, so you could start from the very beginning of the war, and obviously you could play as either the Axis or the Allies. And of course, there's Hubert Cater. You're playing as the AI, Hubert. I always knew it. We've got 1940 Attack in the West. And of course, Axis or Allies. Operation Barbarossa. That's what we've been playing this Let's Play. We've got Case Blue, which is a really, really wonderful one. And I actually suggest beginners to try either Storm over Europe, just to understand how to produce things and research things. But I really think Case Blue is good for beginners because it's challenging, but at the same time, it kind of gives you a sense of accomplishment when you actually accomplish something, when you actually take a city, etc. Operation Citadel, of course. I love that picture. And D-Day to Berlin. Now, this one's fun, especially if you're playing as the Allies. If you're playing as the Axis and you manage to win, please send us your Let's Play to Slytherin, and we will send you a t-shirt. I promise you. I'll pay for it myself, because I'm not sure if it's even possible. Now, all these empty things, these are, of course, you could put mods here, all sorts of things. Like my colleague has said, there are a tremendous amount of mods for this game. There's a huge community just focused on making incredible stuff for this game, and it really is quite incredible. And, you know, you could get those as well. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you, Hubert, for stopping by as well. Yeah, I appreciate it, Hubert. And yeah, I hope you guys are here for the next part of our stream, and I certainly hope you guys will stop by. If my colleague could share the Matrix Games YouTube channel, that would be awesome, because I definitely want you guys to watch our Let's Play. We've got it going. I think we're going to try to have another episode out tomorrow, although we're doing some changes within the office, so we might have to wait until Friday or next week to put up the next episode. Tomorrow we're going to be streaming Decisive Campaigns Barbarossa from the Agrippa Mansion. I think you guys have noticed there hasn't been as much echo here, and there's a reason for that. It's because I'm streaming from my apartment, so it is what it is. And anyway, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks so much for all the appreciation. And great videos on YouTube. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that, man. Anyway, guys, have an awesome day. Take care. I hope you guys pick up this game, and I hope you guys do better than I do. Although I think I did not so bad. I think I did all right for that particular Let's Play. Maybe next time we'll get to Moscow. Take care, my friends, and have an awesome, awesome day.